Coming up on Mountain News this morning, in the aftermath of the Baltimore bridge collapse, local officials are assuring the community of how they prepare for a water rescue. Plus, lawmakers want to create a standalone department to handle gambling and horse racing in the Commonwealth.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6 a.m. on Wednesday, March 27th. Now let's check in with meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast this morning.
Good morning, Olivia. Good morning, everyone. Waking up to some areas of fog this morning, so please keep that in mind. Take the pedal off the metal, but nonetheless, it's a good thing here because if you've been watching over the last hour, the fog has actually started to decrease. Not as thick, and the visibility improving a bit here in Hazard, where we are in the mid-40s, and we're all in the 40s pretty much this morning, except for those of you watching from Clintwood, sitting at 38, Prestonsburg and Pikeville. Both of you are at 50. Satellite weather composite, the system from yesterday, departing out to the east and northeast, a little wrinkle rotating through the flow right back through here. That's just a reinforcing shot of the cooler and drier air coming into play for today. So for today, we average out to being partly cloudy, and the forecast high late this afternoon, up to 62 in Hazard. More about a few nice seasonable days with your First Alert 7-day forecast coming up in just a few moments. Olivia?
All right, Tim, thank you. With the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore turning into a major water rescue mission, it's important that all rescue teams have proper equipment. WYMT's Jack Demler spoke to members of the Jackson Fire Department about some important equipment they have when dealing with water rescues. You can view that story on our website at WYMT.com. But in the statement, the Transportation Cabinet says if damage or deterioration is identified, the bridges are closed out of caution to allow engineers time to inspect the structure and make sure the bridge is safe for travelers. Next week will mark the 50th anniversary of the super tornado outbreak of 1974 with 148 tornadoes, 27 of which hit parts of Kentucky. As we approach April 3rd and 4th, we are hearing from a survivor. Alice Yates was home in Frankfort when an F4 tornado hit her area. Her family managed to rebuild after the devastation. As the anniversary approaches, Alice hopes people will take weather warnings and alerts seriously.
We hear tornado warnings and watches often, but we tend to ignore them. That's something we need to really pay attention to because it only takes one time to get injured or killed.
Alice and her husband now live 20 minutes from the track of that tornado and tell us they have a place to go if a tornado hits their area again. Attorneys are raising concerns about Senate Bill 242. The Lexington Herald Leader says the bill could impact former inmates who sued the department due to conditions. If the bill becomes law, it would allow the Juvenile Justice Department to release criminal, medical, and psychological records. One attorney says the bill could lead to people rethinking their decision to report problems in the system. A bill to help first responders find missing adults is headed to the governor's desk. Senate Bill 45 would establish the Ashanti Alert. It would help spread information on missing adults who fall outside of the Amber Alert system. Lawmakers also added the Ian Alert to the bill. It would add specific language for autistic children and children with special needs. And a bill that would change the Kentucky Board of Cosmetology's makeup and its authority is moving forward. The House passed Senate Bill 14. It expands the board to 7 members, now including an esthetician and a nail technician. It also changes the board's ability to bring civil or criminal charges against licensees. It now goes to the governor's desk for final approval. Lawmakers are considering a bill that would create a new standalone government corporation to handle almost all of Kentucky's gambling and horse racing. The bill would set up the Kentucky Horse Racing and Gaming Corporation to regulate certain types of wagering, including historical horse racing machines, along with sports wagering and charitable gaming. A Senate committee considered and approved the bill. It now heads to a House committee.
And a good Wednesday to you. Temperature-wise, not bad. Basically in the 40s right now across the region. It is 47 as you make your way toward Manchester and Jackson. Hello to you up at Ashland. You're at 48, Prestonsburg and Pikeville. Both of you reporting in at 50. Satellite radar composite storm system from yesterday is long gone. That initial boundary is just to our east and basically right along I-81. In the meantime, got another little wrinkle rotating through the flow right back through here. And that's basically the reinforcing shot of the cooler and drier air we will get to enjoy now as we head through the next few days. So there are some areas of fog. We've seen them outside our door here in Hazard. Keep that in mind. That'll burn off to a partly cloudy sky as we head through the morning and during the course of the afternoon. So the sun visor's down and the shades are on. The forecast high today in Hazard up to 62. All right, high pressure coming in for a few days. How warm? Your first alert 7-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Olivia?
Thank you, Tim, and thanks for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. When we return, Congress intends to address how public housing has fallen into disarray and what the plan is to clean house.